I think we're going to try this, you know. Right. This could go horribly wrong. Because remember, they are going to gain 8. They're scared. I can feel it. Welcome to a brand new video. Today we're looking at Quintorius Khan, who is a pretty cool exile shell commander. Sadly, you can't use this as a commander in real life, but here we are. It basically rewards you from doing things from exile, casting things from exile. So that's going to be things that are, it's normally called impulse if you haven't played the game that long. So impulse is stuff like Lelia. So whenever she attacks, exile the top card of your library, you can play that card this turn. So that's, yeah, it's called Impulse because I think one of the first cards to do that ability was called Impulse. And also it's a way to give red card advantage without just straight up saying draw a card. It's nice, it's flavorful, and it just gives red some kind of, you know, an original feel. You also have cards like You Find Some Prisoners, which gets an impulse effect from your opponent's library, which is very strange. And you can also destroy an artifact. Speaking of seeing things from your opponent's library, we've got Rob the Rich, which also exiles cards from the top of their library. So there's a lot of effects like this. Don't forget Direfleet Daredevil exiles a card from the graveyard. It's complex in the way that Quintorius doesn't actually care about where the card is exiled from. As long as you cast a spell from exile, you will deal 2 damage to each opponent and you can gain 2 life. There's probably a way to just kick off with this deck and make it go crazy, but yeah, I've gone for a slightly slower build, which I think is really fun. And I really want to see if we can get out and hit the Motherlode, which is just a stupid card, really. Discover 10. If the discovered cards mana value less than 10, create that many treasures. So watch me get a 1-drop with hit the Motherlode. That's going to be silly. And a random dinosaur. There's no rhyme or reason to what discover. It's slightly odd. My OCD doesn't really like the fact that Discover isn't tied to a particular colour or thing. It's just kind of all over the place and everything kind of has it. But if you do build this deck, don't forget to put in a Curator of Sun's Creation, which is a very long-winded name, but it's on a beautiful piece of art. And whenever you discover again, which is kind of incredible. Imagine a card that said, whenever you cascade twice. That would be freaking awesome. Obviously, it's a 4-mana 3/3, so it doesn't do anything by itself. But if this sticks around for a while, discovering twice is just really lovely. So stay tuned to see how many times we can discover in today's video. So Jetmir is a token deck, and we have a Deafening Clarion in our starting hand, so I think that should be decent enough. Yeah, start off with the Retreat, then next turn Mountain, and then the Sundown Pass should be fine. The scary thing with Jetmir players is, okay, they haven't played anything, so peculiar. How peculiar. Normally their curve is 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures of those mana values, and then, yeah, play Jetmir, pretty much game over. But the fact they only have white mana is a bit weird. Monastery Mentors, so we definitely want to kill that. How do we want to kill that? I suppose we'll use Helix. We don't want them to go a turn with the Mentor, because that's just going to spread out and destroy us. Having the Infectors here should be pretty good. Not quite Infect, Toxic, but you know what I mean if you've been playing Magic for a while. If they go for Jetmir, we kill it with the Fateful Absence as well. Peregrine took. Okay. Sadly, I missed a land drop, so let's see if we can take a land from our opponent here. Nice, yeah, we'll take the plains. And then I think we'll just go for the G2 Amber Coiler and pass the turn. So basically this says whenever a token comes in, you create an additional food. Oh my goodness, King Darian. I feel like I want to blow up the world here. Yeah, I need to blow up the world. This is a little bit sad, but these two are just kind of OP when combined with the... And actually, you know what? It's fine. We've got 2 Planeswalkers to come back here with. So they can only block 1. Wow, they're taking both. So this hopefully should take out both of the things, unless I've got some kind of protection spell. Nice. Okay, and then if they do cover Jetmir next turn, we have the Chandra to deal 4 damage to it. And or combination of that, or Fateful Absence, or we'll see. Citizens, Crowbar. Okay. So they can destroy a Skral's Hive if they really want to. Sticky fingers. We've got to put a lot of stuff onto that one thing. Which is interesting. So if that dies, they get to draw a card. Fair enough. Do they want to put anything else on it? And it has Menace as well. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. So I want to get the Chandra out here, because it also helps us in the following turn get a bit more mana. Because at the moment we've missed a couple of land drops, which is a bit of a shame. And annoyingly our mites can't block, but I guess that would make Skral's Hive a bit too strong. Jewel Thief, Vigilance Trample, very solid for 3 mana common. Do they have a kill spell for the Chandra? Interesting. So I think I'm just going to add the red here. And essentially just try and kill all the creatures before they can get in the way. And we still have removal with the Fateful Absence, so... Question is, do I keep Surge of Salvation up? Or do we just go for the Ragavan, I think? Because if they kill the Chandra, we can get it back with the ECD phase 3, so that's fine. Mondrak. Ugh. So we basically have to use all removal on their stuff, but yeah, Mondrak has to go as well. This is a format where every single threat you see just gets... they just have to be dealt with. Let's just add more mana.
This'll be easy.
Kill the Mondrak before it becomes indestructible. Go for Zariel here. That's actually crazy, the power boost it gives. And we even have Surge of Salvation up. Blimey, look at all this damage. School in the Jetmir. Nice. And we haven't even cast Quintorius Khan here. I've been criticising a few of my videos that I don't cast my commander enough, but I think you're missing the picture. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. That's the biggest piece of advice I would give any player. I know that my videos are trying to showcase the commander. However, I'm not going to go out of my way to play badly. No, it's not always a bad play to play the commander, but if I don't need to, and if I can hold it back, then I think that's fine as well. I'm not saying playing this right now is wrong or right. I just... Sometimes you want to just do the most effective thing you can. And in this instance, it was getting the support cards out. So we get the Ember Coil out. Do we give ourselves haste? Do we just kill the Jetmir? I think we just kill the Jetmir here. 4 damage. Is that going to connect? Who knows? If they have protection.
Whatever. Figure it out on your own.
Okay, interesting. Nazariel gives our team a huge boost. Have they got anything here? Because this is the end, if not. Oh, wow. That's pretty good. So we had Quintorius canned out. The main question I ask is, would it have made a difference? And in that particular instance, probably not. So did we need to cast him? No. Do you want to see me cast him? Yes. It's difficult. It's difficult. But I promise you, we'll see him a bit more later on. Now, I like this hand a lot, but the opponent is mono blue, so will we get to resolve any spells? Toughness value 3, so we can hit it with a Rip Apart, hopefully. And how many counters do they run? There's no priority held there, so are we going to get lucky and be able to resolve things? Who knows? Oh, there we go. Priority being passed. That's weird. Resolving things. Are they going to bounce it with a Cyclonic Rift? No. How strange. And they're not playing Odra Pakmatik. Got another kill spell for Odra as well. Hithlane Knots. Tap it and scry one and draw. Wow, there's a lot of words for two. And they've got 2 mana up. Okay, we are not casting Quintorius with 2 mana up. Impulse. I mean, if they're just going to replace the cards in their hand with more cards to draw, that's fine. Yeah, it's a shame we couldn't hit. They must be... I don't know. I mean, that's just to play, isn't it? Tap the thing, draw the card. That's the whole reason this card exists. 1 mana up. Let's see if we can bolt it. Dive down. Okay, so we're going to use Rip Apart in our turn. So that will go in our turn at least. I think that's going to be pretty impactful, because if they had kept that, oh, it's just going to be gross. Doubling instants, drawing 2 spells, so on and so forth. But now things are different. Now we get Camoshell and Quintorius. Interesting. And the plus just creates the bodies, which is pretty strong. But they do have 7 mana and they are playing mono blue. So there is that as well. And they've got lots of mana up here. We could go for the Dire Fleet Daredevil. Let's discover. Let's see what we get. We counter the ability. Strangle. Oh, that's adequate. Gets rid of their blocker. And we deal 2. That's powerful. That's 5 damage total just from this one interaction. Counter target spell. Interesting. Okay, well. We're still swinging because we have Menace. Oh my goodness. Okay, lots of interaction. Let's go for hit the mother load. What are we going to get? A braid, as if. A freaking braid. Oh, that feels so silly. We just spent 7 mana for an Abrade, guys. Oh well. We got 8 treasures back. Just keep making dudes. What have they got exactly? Guess we just keep swinging in. Bounce spell? Into the royal kick till they get to draw a card. Okay, fair enough. Draw 2 more cards. Blimey, they're storming off there. I guess we can also draw 2 cards. That seems pretty cheeky, doesn't it? Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And I'm actually going to use some of these treasures because I'm a little bit worried that if they use a mass bounce effect, we're kind of not going to get to like enjoy using them. 1 blue. Are they going to counter this somehow? Stifle? Counter target spell. Wow. Okay. That feels, that felt annoying. You know, that felt pretty annoying. Activate as a sorcery. Okay. Well, let's try and swing in then. How many more other annoying things can they do? As if they had the rift. Oh, that's so annoying. Well, we can also rift, I guess, but not in the same way they can. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. I guess we've got the Surge to protect us from stuff like that. More stuff like that, but damn, son. Damn. I see, I knew that something like that was coming. So it comes in tapped. Interesting. And they've got 2 mana up. I feel like that rift may have changed the flow of things. Are they going to counter this? Or the spell, or... Interesting. If we re-sculpt it, and then we can use temporary lockdown to bounce the stuff back to our hand. Again, they could just counter this. Lazotep plating. Okay. Interesting. So we're going to lose the Quintorius can. Let's just go for the 1 Power Stone here. How many more freaking spells do they have? I suppose the good thing is they're using all these spells without getting too much benefit. Disperse. So they're going to bounce that back. Okay. And then it's going to gain rebound. Sure. We were going to kind of do something like that anyway. So they can... You and permanents get hexproof. Okay. And they get a plating, so that's a 2/2. Yeah, okay. Annoying, but what can you do? Cyclonic Rift is super strong. And dealing with this over and over again is going to be pretty annoying as well. And now we don't really have much protection. This has got first strike, so let's just swing in here. Do we use the temporary lockdown? Yeah. Suppose. And then we can kind of time it so we can go for the Quintorius Khan in the following turn. And then maybe when we get to cast the stuff from exile, we can deal like 2 damage to them as well. When we do that. Helix. Nice. Okay. So we uptick. We... Oh, no, I'm thinking of a different card here. There's another one that... Yeah, there's an alchemy version of Temporary Lockdown. I do apologise. It exiles them and each player can recast them. No, okay, this is different. Okay, fair enough. So... Let's see if the Helix works here. I want to slow them down a bit. Okay, that's fine. So you won't see that for a small amount of time, hopefully. Yeah, I'm going to get people chatting in the comments for that. I do apologise. Just cover 4. Strike it rich. Come on now. Give me something better than that. But they are down to 8. And I don't really feel like I've done too much legwork. While Quintorius Khan here is just kind of like... doing the rounds. Wow. I feel like they... I don't know how I feel about that game. I don't feel like I deserve to have won that, but there you go. Interesting, I suppose. Different. Although this hand is a bit boring, I do like it for the utility. We get to ramp a couple of times into Quintorius. Their deck is really fun, which is something you don't hear me say very often, but yeah. 5 mana, Vigilance, Menace, Lifelink. That's already... freaking awesome. But then you can, when it attacks, will enters, they can resurrect something by exiling 5 other cards from the graveyard. So that's very strong. What do I get rid of? Temporary lockdown, I think. Okay. Braid. Yep, so far, nothing too scary. The Croxer kind of fights ironically, the Crox and Quintorius, because this wants you to have cards in your graveyard, but this wants to exile stuff as well. So when you have 2 abilities in your deck that are vying for the same resource, it becomes what I would call cannibalistic, which means you are kind of decreasing the effectivity rating slightly, but it's not the worst. But yeah, they definitely do oppose each other. And yeah, I think I'm going to try and braid this. And then pay the cost. Unless they give it some kind of... No? Okay. I was thinking they might have had... There's a few black spells that say stuff like return target creature to the battlefield if it dies, or, you know, there's a few things like that. If this had haste, it would be so crazy. So it's already pretty good, I have to say. Key to the archive is interesting. So Rip Apart is now looking really good. Rip Apart destroying this is even better if the card they get is blue or green, because then they have a card in their hand that is completely dead. Interestingly, this card synergizes with the Commander and Croxer because it requires them discarding a freaking Liliana? What the hell? If they discarded a Liliana, I dread to think what they kept. That's bizarre. But I guess we'll find out pretty soon. Unless they kept, like... Maybe they kept a land and a 7 mana spell, because that would have been 7 in total. Celestis. So 1 more card in the graveyard. And then they can use Croxer, but they won't have anything to resurrect, so they need 2 more, really. Yeah, let's go for Quintorius, then. With the Surge of Salvation up, which is nice. To protect him from black spells. Divine Purge. Put that in hand. So that's one way that Discover is better than Cascade. With Cascade, I would have had to basically cast this or choose no. But now I can choose this to play later. And actually, this is pretty good against Crocs. So if they choose to reanimate this, the only downside is they can then recast it again for 4, making us discard over and over again. But eventually, we might not have any cards in our hand anyway, so we shall see. I always find the Temporary Lockdown a bit of a weird card in that it came out like just a year or so after COVID, so they're not going to exile anything. Okay. So now what do we do? No trample, at least. I guess we just make blockers. And having blockers up with the Surge of Salvation is really nice as well. So they are going to be... The lifelink on this is crazy. The Menace as well. Yeah, the Menace. I didn't realise it had... yeah, Menace. They're going to activate that. So they're trying to find more cards for the Croxer or his ability, I suppose. Because if they throw something immense into the graveyard, they'll be able to Time Warp. So see, they did have a blue spell in their hand. I said that. So they got the Time Warp from the Key to the Archive. Interestingly, if we double block here, we can just create... Because both of our Planeswalkers +1 to create blockers, it's kind of okay. So we can just keep making more and more and more. And we gain life. This is going to be a battle of attrition, to be honest. My turn. Okay. Get lost, that's good. Might even use that. So if we do this, we can get ourselves a plains, play it, and still have 4 mana up, which is really good. See, we've got a really solid field here. And I think I'm going to use the Get Lost now. Take care of Crux and Quintorius. Now, the clever play here is to leave it in the graveyard, so you can exile it with the Cruxer. But, oh, okay, I'm proud. I'm proud. I like that. That's good. This person has played Magic a while. So the mistake would be to put this into your command zone. But with the rules, if you change zones with a commander, you can just choose to put it back into the command zone anyway. So if you use escape on with your commander in graveyard, it's perfectly fine, as long as you remember to send it back to the command zone. Celestis is actually super good in their deck. They've really thought about just random things that put stuff in your graveyard. Key to the Archive as well. They've got Shieldred in the graveyard. I don't like that. Do you know how much each creature and each opponent? Prevent all damage. Yeah, prevent all damage that red and black sources would deal. So that saved our 2 guys, which I really like, because I want to have a bit of an attack force there. So that just hits us for 2. This then, they can then discard and draw that many. That also synergizes really well. This deck is so refined. I love it. I really love it. Dark Ritual. So what they're going to go for? Cruxer? And then we discard Divine on Burial Rites on the Cruxer, which gets the Shieldred. Oh, that's really quite good. Okay, so now I'm a bit concerned. Getting the Shieldred back is humongous there. Now we're going to have a bit of a challenge on our hands. And they're going to use maps, which we gave them, which also synergizes with their deck. So they can put the Mindstone in the bin. Oh my, oh my, this is not good. Discard a card to get something back. There's nothing really. Discard a card, no. Tempted to... I don't really know what to do. They've got so much good stuff. I guess we're going to just try and overwhelm them with tokens. Swamp Walk. Keep making blockers? That's quite funny, really. Okay, so they've got nothing to resurrect with the Shieldred here. So that's one good thing. Oh no, they've got the Cruxer, but that's not going to come back. So if we choose to discard Divine Purge, and we know they've got the Mind Stone, so that's not scary. I mean, they've got really good cards in the field, but their hand is a mysterious 1 card, and yeah, we'll have to see. If they attack, I'll definitely block with lots of things. Baleful Mastery. Oh, that's so sad. Let's go for you find some prisoners. See if there's anything on top that can help here. Wow, Terror. So we can play that in our next turn, which goes really well with things that create tokens. That's awesome. So yeah, you could say that was a pretty clutch top deck to kill the Archangel Elspeth, sorry, but and what's that? Ransack the lab. What they're gonna do with that? Leave that there. And they've now got an 8/8, which is pretty horrendous. And we sack I guess we'll sack this. Ooh, Mizzix's Mastery. Overload 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh my god, if we could overload that somehow. But we're not going to be able to. I guess we can just do it for one thing. Oh, timing was bad. I should have done the Terror of the Peaks first. Oh well. Oh, that was silly because... nothing can be... Can't really be mad about that. Made a mistake. We lost out on 1 damage. And then we just hold them back. So Crocs is going to make us discard that, which is a big shame, because imagine we could have cast all that stuff. I mean, we could have done it to cast one thing, but then we wouldn't have the Terror of the Peaks. And now we have nothing in hand. Their Croxer doesn't really worry me too much. Ransack the lab. So they're going to get to mill 2 with this. So if they put something big in the graveyard, they can revive it with the buried... So it's a Shieldred. Oh, that's horrible. So they're going to have 2 Shieldreds, if they want to. And, of course, they have a freaking dragon. Shieldred. 2 Shieldreds. And then, rather annoyingly, even if they lose the Croxer, they can just leave it in the graveyard and get back with Shieldred. So... Yes, we're not in a great scenario, are we? Really? We lose something else here. Okay. Are we going to win this? This is such an attrition battle. Chance for glory. Oh my god, can we win with that? Probably not. I actually want to kill this 4/4, so let's just keep making things, because it's going to pressure us. Can we win? But I don't think... Shall I just go for a Hail Mary? Creatures we control gain indestructible. That's going to be pretty big. And we get an extra turn, and we get to ultimate Quintorius canned. I think we're going to try this, you know. Right. This could go horribly wrong. Because remember, they are going to gain 8. They're scared. I can feel it. So remember, we're going to lose the game after this next extra turn. Okay, here we go. Chance for glory. Down to 17, but they gain 8. We sacrifice another creature. Come on, we've got to draw something good here. That's definitely not good. Exile any number of cards from your graveyard. Add red for each card exiled this way. Any number. So here's another thing. If we had Quintorius canned at 7 loyalty, he'd be alive. But so we might as well do all of them then. Although, if we use Mizzix's Mastery, if we only get back Mizzix's Mastery, we could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Would it be better to just... do 1, 2, 3, 4... Let's try this. So then we're going to overload Mizzix's Mastery for the remaining spells. Kill the lifelinker. Deal some damage to that. A braid, I guess we can deal 3 damage to this. And surge. Is that going to be enough? I honestly don't know. I don't know. But we do lose after this anyway. But yeah, you know what? It's been a fun game, to be honest. Destroy artifact. And then if we give our creatures this boost, +1/+0.
Unleash your ferocity.
I don't know. Do we have lethal on board? Exile each non-land permanent. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. An extra turn we're going to lose anyway. Let's just see what's on top of their deck. Anything? Not really. Although if I'd done that after, we would have had an extra attacker. Okay. Oh my god. Let's just look at the maths there. I'm kind of in disbelief. How much was that? So that's 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24, 30. If they'd blocked... So the only thing they could have done was block 2 4s, which means it would have been 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 20. They weren't dead, though. Were they? I don't think they were dead. And we would have lost on our next turn. Being of that turn's end step. Maybe they thought we had another creature in our hand or something. I don't think. 2021, they would have been at 3. I don't know. But yeah, I won that game, so I'm quite pleased. Angrath is a beast of a commander here, but having the Ragavan should be a nice little start, although they do have red and black. So they have access to Fatal Push and Lightning Bolt. And it's likely that they have something. Which means we need to ramp into the... Well, not ramp, just have to play a White Source to play the Surge of Salvation, but are we going to be able to keep Ragavan for an extra turn here? Or is it going to be Thoughtseize? Inquisition. So there goes the Surge. That's a shame. But it does mean we're going to get to see what's on top of the deck and get a treasure as well. Swords is going to be kind of useless against them unless they have creatures. Golem. So we have to use the mana. I guess we can. Yeah, just apply some more pressure. Maybe that was a bad idea, but... Yeah, it's a shame you have to use... I'd use a treasure there, but oh well. Bitter Blossom, okay. Interesting. That was... they didn't really want to find out what happens next. Even though, interestingly as well, Bitter Blossom makes X1s, and they could have blocked our guys eventually and took them out, but wow, the power of Ragavan is just so brutal, isn't it? So powerful. So I actually really like this deck. It's pretty fun. There's something weird about white-red when you combine it and have fairly expensive curve. It feels more like control than anything else, which is interesting. Obviously, you can make it more aggro, but I don't think it serves Quintorius card very well. I think it's a fantastic card with the potential to essentially just go off with Mizzix's Mastery, which you saw me do, but obviously I didn't have it out, so you kind of have to have this out in order to kind of go off with a lot of really awesome stuff. But yeah, getting up to 6 loyalty and then having stuff in your graveyard, having the mana to spend, targets for the spells, it's tough, but again, I still loved it. I really loved it. But only because the opponents weren't too powerful. I did face 5-color Niv at one point, making me think, okay, so I feel like the queues have merged into one slightly. But yeah, I definitely like it. Just draining 2 is so powerful. It's really good in 1 versus 1. It's such a huge gap. And it lets you use all the ridiculous steely cards like Ragavan, Rahilda, Robber of the Rich, Direfleet Daredevil, and Kamashal, or steal stuff from your opponent's deck, which is so mean in a way. But yeah, there's a lot of cool things to do. Hit the mother load's funny. It's weird. It's quite punishing. But if you get something good, it feels nice, but then it kind of rewards you in a way by giving you lots of ramp as well. So it's like 7 mana ramp 10. It can be if you hit a 0 drop, which is kind of crazy, but unlikely. And yeah, I think I actually would recommend you build this deck, especially if you like control, but you don't like blue. This really feels that way, and control's quite a vast category of decks. It's not just counter magic that makes control. Control is just slower, more methodical, more choices to be made. It's the complete opposite of aggro, where your curve here would be 1 or 2 drops. You slam a creature and you swing in. That's kind of like, it's a bit more brainless. It's kind of turn your brain off. And there's definitely space for aggro. Like if you're tired, for instance, aggro is a lot better because it's just a bit less thinking. And yeah, this is cool. Fun decks sometimes can emerge. And definitely put in a chance for glory, because you can make your opponent quit just because they don't count the maths, apparently. Unless I was wrong in that last game, in one of those games. I don't know. You'll have to tell me in the comments below if I was wrong about the maths there, but I don't think I had lethal, and I think they probably would have. They would have won if they just waited a little bit. If they had not conceded and waited till my end turn, they would have won. But there you go. If you want to support the channel because you enjoy the content or you've got some value from my channel, check out the description below. You can get your own video, your own custom video, by becoming a patron, the Adult Dragon tier. The description box also has my Ko-fi link where you can donate any amount, a one-off amount. That really helps the channel as well, because YouTube it doesn't pay very well. Until next time. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.